Welcome, everyone. We're live today, and it is a Thursday. I cannot believe we're here already. Thursday, really? Felt like it was just Monday. But I digress. I don't know what's happening with YouTube this morning, but we'll see. It says I'm going live twice, and I don't understand, but I digress. Somebody asked me, how do you know we manifest all day, every day? Shoot. Because it would, I can't even judge because I can't. But I do understand why the question is there. Ah, hey, Cyber. I'm taking it that YouTube is working. um, and so the question was, well, how do you know? What evidence do you have? And I'm like, but dude, we have evidence every day. And the first example is, what am I going to wear? You know how you make that choice? Some of you may stand in front of your closet and ask the question, what am I going to wear? Oh my God, I have nothing to wear. That's what we do. But do you know how you actually get dressed? The image of the outfit pops into your head, and what do? Find them, and you put them on. And they said to me, Angela, that's just what we do. And I was like, exactly. You are thinking that manifestation is something that it isn't. You have this perception of manifestation that the world has painted this picture for you and said, ooh, this is mystical. Ooh, this is magical. You got to know the right tricks. You got to know the right techniques. When in actuality, the moment you ask yourself, oh my God, what do I want for supper? uh, when you ask yourself what you want for supper, at first you're like, I don't know what to eat. And then what happens? You get into a particular mood and you say, oh, I'll eat that. And what do? Get it? Manifestation is you simply seeing the evidence of your mental mood, aka mental attitude. Nothing else. When you go to somebody's house and you see their garden has manifested, and you say, oh my God, you've got such a green thumb, because you're out there admiring how beautiful their garden is. If their garden did not manifest, you wouldn't see it. But that garden, before it manifested, it was in their mind's eye. So when you think that it is somehow mundane, what am I going to wear? What I'm showing you is the moment you engage with that question, a whole cascade of things begin to happen mentally, right? Shea butter. Don't make me sing it. I'm going to sing like a little bit when he gets up too early and his voice cracks. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day, right? I see you, shea butter. The moment you engage with the question, what am I going to wear? What am I going to eat? What am I going to do? You see, the moment you engage with that question, you bring it about so that you can see it on the outside. Some things happen, quote unquote, faster than others. But here's what we do. And you ask yourself the question, what am I going to do about this situation, right? You don't even have to name the situation. You know the situation. You know the situation's got you on the ropes. Pardon me. And you say, what am I going to do? That's the first place to start. And do you see that you do it naturally? And when you engage with, what am I going to do? You didn't name what your problem was, but you have identified it. That's why you asked the question. So as within, so without. It's like asking, what am I going to wear? You make your decision based upon what you already know to be in your closet. Mm? Do you not? You ask yourself, man, what color underwear am I going to wear today? When you answer that question, you go into that drawer, and what do you find? You go and you rummage till you get the color that matches the thing in your head. This is all manifestation is. And why? I know Esther Hicks always says a button and a castle are the same thing. A button and the castle are the same. The difference separating them is how you see them. You see the castle as being far-fetched, not possible, because you've got no previous knowledge from which to draw from other than you're not a princess, you're not a prince, you're not even a Scottish laird. How are you going to get a castle? Hmm? So you see, that thing now looks impossible to quote unquote manifest. When in actuality, the vision has its appointed hour. Me standing in front of the closet asking, what am I going to wear? Is a different question from, how am I going to do that? Mm? Do you spot the difference between the questions? How am I going to do that? What am I going to do? What do I want to wear? You will always see in your mind's eye what to do. And you draw it from out of yourself every day, all day. What am I going to read? And you go through your mind's eye and a book or a blog, whatever it is that you're going to read appears where? In your mind's eye. And then what do? You get it and you read it. Now, I don't know if you guys have been watching What's Her Face. I can't even say What's Her Face. That's so bad. The Duchess of Sussex. She has a seasonal line that just came out. Sold out in 1 hour, but no, less than an hour it sold out. But where do you think that started? In her mind's eye. She does what we all do. Oh, but Angela, there's no comparison between her and the rest of the world. It is only that her station is slightly elevated from yours in life. And when I say slightly, that's exactly what I mean. Slightly. It's just slightly elevated from yours or mine. But the equalizing factor is this. We all sit down, lay down, recline, and do what? Ask ourselves, what do I want to do? I really want to do something that is beautiful, that represents me. What am I going to do? And in the recesses of your mind, you begin to call forth all of the things that you like, you love, and that you do. And you build from that. It didn't happen overnight. The vision has its own appointed hour. It will ripen. It will flower. If it be late, wait. Just wait. Right? Some things take more time than others. But every day, all day, we are doing the exact same thing. Asking the question and answering the question. We're not doing anything fancy. So now, make it a little bit bigger. When you have a situation going on in your life and you ask yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I do that all the time? Why do I always do it that way? Well, the answer will emerge in your mind's eye to show you why you're doing it all the time. You do it as a result of something that you have within your own built-in closet that you call your life experiences. So you're standing before your life. Your life is a closet. You're standing before your life and you're looking at it. What am I going to do? You will choose from what you've always done. Mm. It is our design. It is our nature. So you notice before you ask that question, you did something else. Before you asked the question, did you not? You acknowledged that there was a problem. The problem is nakedness. Oh my God, what am I going to wear? Something happened to you before you asked the question. What was that? You became aware of the present situation. Oh, I be naked. I need to do what? Put some clothes on. As within, so without. You see cause and effect. It is the same principle when you're asking, what should I have for lunch? And then you pack your bag the night before. And you might have realized, oh my goodness, I don't have ... You go and you get it. Now, notice when you ask the question, what am I going to do? And you do something slightly similar. Do you notice the feeling of dissatisfaction? Where you just said, "Ah, I'll just do that." But yet you're dissatisfied with it. Because we're always meant to be satisfied. I don't make the rules. I just live by them. We're meant to be satisfied. That is our That is our nature, to be satisfied. Because the reason we are dissatisfied is because the images don't match. The thing in your mind's eye and the thing that you're doing don't match. Thus, you are dissatisfied. And it is keenly felt, is it not, your dissatisfaction? Just as when you are satisfied, that too is also keenly felt. So you take it from the simplest of things that we do. What shoes should I wear today? You get an image that flashes into your mind's eye and you go and you put them on. What we cannot get our heads around is, uh, I can put my shoes on in an instant. Why doesn't the other stuff happen in an instant? Because rhythm compensates to the degree, right, that that question is asked. Is the degree that it must be fulfilled. Oh man, what am I going to put on? What am I going to wear? That's not a very steep degree. So the pendulum only swings, ee, right? It just swings a little bit because that's just the type of question it is. But look at the degree of the other questions. The steeper or the more intense the degree, well, that will determine how long you have to quote unquote wait. All you're doing is waiting for the image to occur, are you not? Once the image occurs, what am I going to wear? And it flashes in your mind's eye, and you go and you pick it out and you put it on the chaise for the next day. All you did was bring up the image, and you went and you found everything that matched your image. Ta-da! Manifestation 101. You see, when you tell it like that to people, they think you're nuts. No, that's not manifestation. That's everyday living. And I'm like, oh, so what do you think manifestation is? Everyday living. Because every day we see the contents of our character. Every day we see what is in our hearts. Every day. Every single day. Right? So that is why when you pay attention, I need a new job. What am I going to do? Well, you start to go through all the skills that you've got. Naturally, your brain is like a Rolodex and churning and churning and flipping and flipping. And you find what it is you've done in the past. You find all the things that you're good at. And then what do you do based upon that? You tailor your resume to match the image of the skill sets in your mind. That's all we're doing. Asking a question, the image appears, we follow through with the image. We act. Naturally, you don't have to ask the question, what's my next step? Naturally, you don't have to ask that question because naturally, you just do. But you do based upon what? The image in your mind's eye that you sat there and thought about and said, what should I dot, dot, dot? It's as simple as that. When you looked out in the backyard and you saw how snow covered it was. Yes, it is snow covered. It snowed last night again. Right? When you look out in the garden and you ask yourself, what do I want to plant? Well, you begin to go through all the things in your mind's eye that you want to plant. Naturally. And then you realize you don't have to ask, well, what should my next step be? Get the seeds is the next step. Are you going to pot indoors first? And if you say, yeah, that frost, let me sprout these seeds indoors, or I could wait a little bit longer. But whatever decision you make physically to do, you've done mentally. That's what we do naturally. We draw from our plethora of things we've experienced and encountered. That's what we do. We draw from within. Day in and day out. So it's not that you're just standing in front of the closet. Comprehend what you're doing when you stand in front of the closet. What am I going to wear? And before you even move sometimes, you've already flipped through the closet. You haven't touched a thing in there, but you've already flipped through it. You find one piece, but it looks like you're choosing things at random. But in actuality, you are not. You have an image in your mind's eye of the outfit. You do. And then you grab all of the pieces, and when you turn to the left and to the right in the mirror, well, you just took what was invisible and made it visible. That's all you've done. Yeah, but Angela, that's not a car. I really need a car. Oh, Angela, I really need whatever. I really need this. I really need that. So when you ask that question, you will draw from whatever belief you already possess. And then you will act according to the image presented to you. This is why habits, or the principle of rhythm, is important to understand, to grasp. If you continually choose the same thing in your mind's eye over and over again, and you have that be your go-to, well then, the next time you stand in front of the closet and ask, well, what am I going to wear? You will know, wait, and this is what because I'm crazy like that. I always say, searching, searching, searching. Why? Because that's exactly what you're doing mentally. You do these things mentally first. And then physically, we act. How do you think the forensic scientist can tell you that whoever's perpetrating is escalating? You see into their mind's eye. How do you see into the mind of someone? By observing their external behavior. Every single one of us has a pattern, a way of doing things. You have a particular favorite color, and so you might wear a variation of that every day. But you wear that color when you get into a mood, naturally. So remember, as you and I are out in these streets, you are always manifesting. You are always showing yourself what you are, day in and day out. And that is what to manifest means. Show the evidence of what is inside. You show that evidence on the outside. So whether it is in the kitchen, what should I eat? God, I saw the cutest couple yesterday. He comes to see her and says, what like you just didn't know? You don't want that. And he kept throwing suggestions out because those suggestions are what he's always had, what they've always had together. Until finally she lands on something based upon the mood of, oh my God, I'm rushed. I only have a half an hour break. What's going to take the least amount of time to prepare? You see how she made the decision? You see how she manifested what she ate? And you think that it is more complex than that? It isn't. It's not any more complex than that. It's just that we don't see it. We just don't see it. When you say, what kind of man do I want? Or you say, what kind of girl I want to be with? If that's how guys talk, I don't know. Right? What do? You begin to flip through every type of person you have previously been with before. Why you think you say, oh my God, they're just like my mother. Oh my God, they're just like my father. Huh? Where did you pull that from? I know where you didn't pull it from. See? You make your decisions based upon your previous experiences, aka what you have hanging in the closet already. That's where you made your decision from. You didn't make your decision randomly. The decision was based upon the question. The decision was based upon the question. Oh, the decision was based upon the cause. Oh, cause and effect. Yes, cause and effect. That's how you made your decision. You were the original cause, and you went through the recesses of your mind and you said, oh, I've done this one before. You have a particular way of doing things, your own rhythm. Naturally, you developed it. That's all you're doing. When you're going to the realtor and the realtor says, or they ask you a question, what kind of house you're looking for? Me, I'm partial to bungalows. Why? Because I grew up in one. And stairs, well, I tend to think long term. So I'm not a fan of stairs, but I'll tolerate stairs. I don't mind. I get my steps in. But we choose what we like based upon previous experience. So now, if you want to change something, you want to change a previous experience? Oh, sounds like revision. Oh, you want to change something. You get into the mind's eye. And we already know what we want to experience. And we use the word, we classify what we want to experience based upon what? The types of experiences we've already had. So the answer always is going to follow the question. As within, so without. It doesn't change. And it is in the most mundane of things. And that's why we take things for granted because oh, that's so boring. That's so mundane. No. Every season the farmer plants seeds and harvests them over and over and over again. But the point of origin is always mental. Always. And that is where you do it first. You saw the outfit in your mind's eye first. Like when I was saying to myself, what am I gonna, because I work in the evenings. And so I said, okay, I'm not there to cook for him. What can I make that he'll enjoy the leftovers for? And then I see it in my mind's eye and I go make it. You see, the action that you take is determined by the question that you ask. So when Neville Goddard says the wish fulfilled has its own way of blossoming into your life, that's what he's talking about. You selected a particular thing. Then it will show up in the only way it can. You don't have to force it. But if you look at the satisfaction part, and it's not even that you don't, and here's the thing, it's not even that you don't know what you want, because you do. If you didn't know what you wanted, you would not have the capacity to say, no, that's not it. Then you must have a particular image in your mind's eye. And you keep doing it until you sense, oh, I did it right this time. Because you knew what you were looking for. Oh, not this color, not this kind of pink, salmon colored pink. Oh, not this color of purple. No, no, no. Plum colored. And the men in the space are like, purple is purple, man. Pink is pink. No, they're different shades. Magenta, salmon. They're all different. Baby, pastel. They're all different shades of pink. And if you don't quite know what shade of pink, you've already chosen pink. So you have a general idea of what you want. And then when you come upon the correct shade of pink, you say, that's it. So when you are building your scenario in your mind's eye, when you are building the experience in imagination, what you would experience in reality, you're doing the exact same thing. You're choosing the type of pink. And when you come upon the shade of pink you want to put on, or the shade of blue, or the shade of purple, you go, yes, that's the one. And then you put it on. Because you like the way it makes you feel when you put it on. All I'm showing you is what we do naturally every day, all day. But because we do it naturally, we think, ah, there's nothing magical about that. Nothing mystical about that. I just do that all the time. No. Stop taking your existence for granted. Because it appears to be mundane. And it is in the most mundane of things that one beholds the face of God, you know? Ponder that one. Ponder that one. So the next time you stand in front of the closet, or for some of you, the next time you look at the floor in your room, you better put that laundry away when it's clean. This is why they tell you clean space, clean mind. Why? You think the space is cluttered first? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Sesame Street. You think the space was cluttered first? No. As within, so without. Then you look around your room and you get mad enough at it being messy. What happens? You start to clean it, right? Yep, you do. But you got mad mentally first from constantly feeling overwhelmed by clutter. Thoughts were cluttered first, and your actions just followed suit. So if you want to clean up your room, start by cleaning up your mood first. And there's a certain amount of anger required to clean your room. It's like fire, you know? So you realize you start to build intensity. Every time you come in and you see the mess, you're like, you go back, you come in again. What do you think is happening to you? The intensity builds until when? You kick in the door within the 4-4 and you say, I'm going to clean up this mess. Is what you do. But you had to get to that level. You had to get to that intensity. So you see, every day we are building intensity in our lives in different areas. And the level of intensity determines how you act on the outside. I'm showing you what you do every single day. So you want the relationship, you want the house, you want the car, you want the job. The same thing applies. What do I want? It always is going to start there, mentally. And then this image shows up in your mind as a response to your question. And naturally, you just do it. You don't consult a crystal ball. You don't see a psychic. You don't go see the astrologer. No, you ask yourself the question and you answer it naturally. So next time you think and you hear it within your mind's eye, ask and you shall receive, that is exactly what you are doing. Day in and day out. You're asking and you're receiving. God, how did I talk for 40 minutes? I trust that that makes sense to you today. Apply it to every facet of your life. The moment you stand in front of the closet with your bare arse You ask, what am I going to wear? Watch what happens. A whole cascade of outfits flips through your mind until what? You land upon the one that makes you feel the best, most satisfied. And then you put it on. It's just, that's what you're doing. You're drawing from what you already know. So when Neville says creation is finished, he's not just talking out of the left side of his face versus the right side or the middle. Every experience is already there. If you're presently having one experience that you don't like, but you know that the one you want to have, it's just better than what you're presently experiencing. You can't put your name to it. You can't touch it, but you're like, I know it's better. So then you begin to explore what's better than this. We call that best case scenarios. Until you come upon the one that does what? Makes you feel the best. And then what do you do from there? The only other thing you can do, because that thing that you say will make you feel the best can only unfold in its own way, its own natural way. So let's take a moment to welcome everyone into the space, shall we? Oh, Melly Mel is in the house. Hey, girl. Shea butter. Oh, well, if it isn't my sweet Jeff. Hey. Oh, the better man. Hey. And Cyber, you guys are kicking it with us in these YouTube streets. I don't know who's on Facebook or TikTok. I don't know because they haven't made themselves known. Twitter, who's here? BZ is here. Hey. It is always a pleasure to see you, darling. It always is. Fan base, who's with us today? Is the app apping? Michael is here. Miss McQueen is here. Miss Deborah is here. Hello, Lennon. And Lily. Hey, you're here too. Lily. I've never said your name before. But Lily has a closet. Isn't that something? You see, the designer, right? What do they do? First of all, they're in a mood. A muse. You see, someone says, oh, you are my muse. You know what a muse is? The thing that puts you in a particular mood. And when you are in a particular mood, you will act according to the mood. So the designer, if they have a particular person in mind, like a songwriter, you can, sometimes if you really pay attention, you can hear when a particular songwriter, you can hear who their muse is. When the song plays, you know exactly who their muse is. Indeed. David Foster? Who's his muse? More than likely Celine Dion. Right? Like when Queen wrote shoot. He wrote that song because who was his muse? Who put him in the mood to write that song? Well, first one was the opera, right? I see a little silhouette of what? The opera put him in the mood. And then Aretha Franklin. You see, we're always in a mood and we do what we do according to the mood. He wrote the song from the mood of Aretha Franklin. See, so a mood is anything you can embody. And as you embody that mood, you act according to the mood. Naturally, based upon the mood. So I'm not going to listen. The dog dead. Oh, shoot. That might be a little bit insensitive for people who have lost pets. But it's a Bajan saying. Like a dog dead. Meaning, in North America, we say, stop kicking a dead horse. What's that mean? It means the same thing. I think I've made my point. Why keep hammering it? That's what it means. So recognize what you are doing moment by moment, and you will catch it. You will see that you were aware of something. You said, oh, I am. And then the thing you became aware of is that. And you said, oh, I am that. That. I am that. That's what you did. That's all you're doing every day for every single situation. You don't go and say, oh, I'm going to just do this out of the blue. We never do that. Oh, Angela, dog dead. Let's move past that. You get it, right? So how are you going to apply it in your life? What do I want to become? That's where you're going to start. And when you answer the question, what do I want to become? Well, then you begin to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you did become it. Well, how else would you know? You've got to do what it implies that you are it. And you don't do the unnatural thing, you do the thing that is only natural. And when you begin to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be, you are going to feel. You are naturally going to feel, say, oh, Eureka, that's the color pink I wanted to wear. Oh. And you continually feel the satisfaction of wearing that pink over and over and over again. Until what happens? You put it on till you embody it. Oh, but Angela, that's easier with clothes. It's not the same thing with a job. Really? Oh, what do you want to embody as your job, as your career? Well, I don't know. Yes, you do. Because if I suggest a job to you, you say, "Ugh, no, I'm not going to do that." Well, then clearly you know. Hmm? I'm showing you you always choose what you know. So then you got to learn something different. If you want to choose something different, oh, you mean I need to change the initial cause? Yes, we change the mentality first. Well, to learn something new, where do you have to get it? Huh, exactly. You have to learn it first, which is going to be a mental activity. Hmm. Anyway, I think you get the point. You know how you see exactly how to apply it. And if you don't understand how to apply it, slide into my DMs and we'll go through your specific scenario. But you see, if you'd have come to the workshop, you'd know how to do that. But you know what? I'm not going to say it. I did. I said what I said. As Cody would say, I'm not taking that back. I trust that it makes sense to you. So when you hear the chime this morning, you may get chicken. I don't know. You might get chicken, but he might still be asleep. So he's not going to crow yet. He says, I'll crow in my own time, mother. What are you going to do? You're going to ask the question first. What do I want to become? And when you ask that question, you ask that question based upon the present mood that you're in. Today's Thursday. I might wear something comfortable because I'm still tired. Because I don't want to be fancy schmancy, because I'm too tired for that. So I will dress accordingly. See? We ask the question based upon the mood, and we experience in imagination what we'd be doing in reality if we were the man or the woman we wanted to be based upon that mood. And then we act according to the mood. So get the mood right. Set the mood. I say set the mood, and some of you think of candlelight and rose petals and chocolate. Is that liquid chocolate or solid chocolate? You know what? Stop. Uh, all I said was set the mood. Is that the only mood you know? No, you know many moods. Set the mood and watch how you behave. Always. You'll surprise yourself. You'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know I could do that. If you don't know, now you know. Let me get the chime. Let me get the chime. What'd I do with it? It's still here. Right on time, chicken. My sweet boy. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you. Thank you for stopping by and spending your early morning with me. Well, with me in a little bit. Thank you. And I trust that the next time you stand before your closet and you ask, what am I going to wear? That you will begin to see what you are doing. You are calling those things that are not as though they were. Mm, yes. So you know I love you. I will see you on the morrow. I cannot believe it's Friday tomorrow already. What happened to the week? I blinked and it was here. Oh, mercy, Lord. Anyhow, I do love you. Peace out, Twitter. Oh, Lord, listen to you. Talking about peace out, Twitter. A little bit is on it today. See you, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok.